Today I want to beat Pokemon Scarlet and Violet using only a Houndoom, and not just any old Houndoom, a shiny one. Houndoom is my favourite Pokemon and he's the mascot of this channel. I did a Heart Gold run for one of my first ever videos with just a Houndour, but could we do it even better this time and beat the latest entries in the Pokemon series with just this Pokemon? Let's find out. I'll keep the rules pretty simple. I'll only use the Houndour/Houndoom in combat, no items in battle, and for a held item, only berries. Yikes. Although, that might not be such a bad thing after all. Now, Houndoom is a very one-dimensional Pokemon. It's got a fantastic speed and special attack stat, but it's a pretty frail one too. It's a glass cannon who can set up with nasty plot and sweet, but can just die in 1 or 2 hits. So overcoming some of these obstacles in Paldea will be tough. With that, let's begin our adventure. The first thing we do is get our starter, and as none of them are a Houndour, we can't really start the challenge yet. By continuing with the story stuff for a little bit, we can come across a cave where we're going to spend our early game. I'm not happy with the dragon we just saved with a sandwich, as it's scaring off all the Houndours as they try and protect the precious shiny one, but don't worry, we'll be coming back for you soon. After enrolling at the school, we now have a dragon to ride around Paldea. We're ready to start hunting it. Now, by getting a few ingredients and making a fire type sandwich, we can only spawn in Houndour in this cave. This makes it a pretty easy target to shiny hunt, so that's what I start doing. By just running around the cave, we can see a lot of Houndours, and after only 10 minutes of searching as I do my usual lap, I walk around this rock, and that is definitely a blue looking Houndour. Now at this point, I make a few mistakes. First I save, which is normal, then we encountered a level 4 blue shiny dog, and it's just perfect. But there's a weird glare to the screen. I don't know if it's just this cave, but I'm really happy we got our target for this whole run so early on. Mistake number 2, I only have a Fuecoco, so this could be rough. Luckily we do good damage with tackle, and after that, Houndour submits, and we capture her in a Pokeball. She's the only Pokemon we will capture this whole run. She's got a hasty nature, but no mark, and I'm super happy. So I wanted to recapture her with maybe a bit of a better angle and better sound, so I reset my game, and she's gone. Nowhere to be seen. I definitely saved, but I was thinking I just messed up, and who knows how long the next one will take me. So I decided to just brush it off and start searching right away again. But as we eat another sandwich, I noticed a Houndour is there eating with me. I didn't fail it, but when I caught her, the game auto-saved because I forgot to turn it off. That's a relief. And now the challenge can officially begin. Me and Houndour are ready to take on the whole game, and what better way to start than the first gym. I grounded Houndour up on wild Pokemon and trainers, and we're at a healthy level 14 before we take on the Cortando gym. After some very questionable olive rolling skills, we can challenge her. She's a bug gym leader with 3 Pokemon and a Teddiursa. This gives our Houndour an extremely great matchup for the first gym, as Katy leads off with a Nimble, and we lead with our sparkling Houndour. I decided to not mess around with this and show Katy our fiery spirit. We terrestrialize, boosting the power of fire type moves, and poor little Nimble stands no chance and gets burnt to an utter crisp. Katy decides to send out her Tarantula next, but I mean it's made of wool. This means another boosted Ember from Houndour burns a spider too, leaving her with just a Teddiursa left. This could hurt us with Fury Swipes. Katy decides to throw the fight by terrestrializing Teddiursa into a bug type, making her weak to our Houndour, and that seals her fate. A boosted Ember takes down her teddy bear, giving us our first badge in the run. Let's keep this momentum going. The next step in Paldea, if you're trying to do things in some sort of order, is to take on something that is probably going to be hard for us, and that's the big Titan crab Klawf. Yep, he's a rock type and we have 1 fire type, so this is going to be rough. With Klawf, we have to beat it on its own first. Usually you have 2 stages. The first time it's just your Pokemon, the second time you get a little bit of help. And while Houndour snags a burn instantly to reduce Klawf's attack, a Rock Smash is still hurting us, and our bite plus burn damage is doing a solid little chunk back. Our next bite even flinches Klawf, perfect RNG so far, but then our next attack activates his ability Anger Shell, raising his attack and speed but lowering his defenses, basically a Shell Smash. After that, a Vice Grip puts us really low. Now Klawf is faster and just knocks us out of a Rock Smash. This only even went remotely this well thanks to a turn 1 burn and a flinch. We're going to have to come back to Klawf. As we are very close to the second gym, who we might as well take on and get a level or 2 before coming back to the crab, we round up 10 Sunthoras for the gym challenge, and we can challenge Brassus. He's a grass type gym leader, so this should be like Katy, a pretty easy battle. Brassus leads a Petilil, and I terrestrialize Houndour instantly to make this gym fight a little bit easier. So just like Katy, Brassus's Petilil can't stand the heat and goes down to a single Ember. Out comes Smoliv, a new Pokemon in Generation 9. It's pretty frail though and just gets burned to a crisp 2. This leaves his last Pokemon Sudowoodo, who is a rock type and would usually be a problem. Brassus terrestrializes him into a grass type, so I'm thinking it's going to be an easy sweep. Our Ember puts him in the red, then a single rock throw just destroys Houndour, and we lose. Damn, Sudowoodo is strong. We just lost to a grass type trainer with a fire type. I need a level or two to survive just one hit from rock throw. This early game is proving to be a bit tougher than I first expected. So I level Houndour up to level 19, 2 more levels. I'm hoping with this slight level advantage we can take down Sudowoodo. So his first 2 Pokemon suffer the same fate and just get obliterated once more, leaving just Sudowoodo again. But there is also a big problem. It's got the ability Sturdy, so we can never one hit knock it out. We just have to pray we can now live a Rock Tomb. I'm still skeptical. We bring him to his Sturdy and we don't get a burn. But Brassus now decides to throw the fight by going for a Trailblaze, a grass move rather than a rock move. Makes no sense why, unless he didn't see the knockout or rock throw. But thanks to the move choice, Houndour can take down Sudowoodo, and with that we defeat Brassus and we get our second gym badge. We still have a big obstacle in the way though, and that's that Crab Klawf. I try it again with an Oranberry I've farmed, but it's just not happening. Bite is doing great damage, but we can't even take a hit or 2. So I level up to 20 and we learn Incinerate, but I go for a bite and it's doing about 25% to him. We snag a turn 1 flinch too. We bite again to put him at under half, activating Anchor Shell once more, and he's probably just going to take us out again. But he actually goes for a Vice Grip, doing massive damage but activating our berry so we can heal a little bit. Thanks to his ability, his defenses are lowered now. I miss clicking Incinerate and Klawf spares us by going for Block. Another bite and we actually make it past stage 1 for the first time. But this fight's not over. Oh no, it's not. Now we have to defeat the powered up Klawf from eating Herba Mystica. However, it is raining and we have help from Arven and Shelder, who has a water move. In order to win, I need to set up with Houndour, so I start going for Howls to raise Bite's damage as Klawf attacks Shelder. Shelder's water gun is doing roughly 25%, so this is pretty good. We howl once more to get to a +2 in attack as Klawf now Vice Grips Houndour, but we tank that extremely nicely and Shelder's water gun brings it close to half. We then bite for massive damage, activating his ability once again, and I hope he doesn't take me out, but we flinch him. Shelder then lays Klawf, destroying his defense stat, and thanks to this turn of events, Houndour can finish off the Titan Crab with a bite, and that's an early game brick wall defeated. And our first Titan badge completed too. Straight after Klawf, we've got another Titan to take down, and well, it's a big bird. It's throwing rocks on people's head, and I must admit, I did get smashed by a few of them on the way. Bombardier is a bit of a problem, to be honest. It's got a rock move and can use Pluck to take away our berry and heal himself in the process. At our current level, we stand no chance. Even a Terra boosted Incinerate is just shy of half, and then a Pluck just destroys us. We have 0 chance of beating this guy yet. We've got to level up a bit. So I come back at level 23, just 1 level shy of leveling up and evolving into Houndoom to see if it's possible now. And this time it goes much better, but we still have an issue. We can't one hit knock it out, but we do over half to him. 1 Pluck still decimates us. The problem is you don't get any chance to heal between phase 1 and 2. So while we get to stage 2 and Arvin comes to help us out, 1 hit and we're just dead. So I have to terrestrialize and hope for the best. We are the fastest Pokemon on the field thanks to some good EV training in speed. We hit an Incinerate for close to half on this Pokemon, as Bombardier then goes for a Torment on Knackley, but Knackley doesn't attack and goes for a Rock Polish. Thanks, Knackley. We Incinerate again, just shy of the knockout as Bombardier thankfully attacks Knackley, who then proceeds to take it down with a rock throw. And honestly, we were super lucky. 1 hit and our Houndour was toast. But I'll take that. With Bombardier down, this gives us our second Titan badge, and now we have a dance with our first Team Star member. But before we do that, let's just evolve Houndour into our final Pokemon for this run, Houndoom. Grinding just before the base means we can get the magnificent shiny Houndoom, and she's perfect. I've also gone and got the TM for Flamethrower and Dark Pulse, giving us 2 extremely strong stab options. I also learnt Thunderfang from the TM machine to give us some good move coverage, but it's going to be tough taking down Revavroom. While running to the Team Star Dark base after evolving Houndoom, you won't believe what happens. Yep. Can you see this? Little blue guy spawning? I quickly do a 180 turn, and that is a shiny Rockruff begging to be caught. If this was a shiny dog run, then that would be insanely lucky. I'll capture it for moral support, but it's going to be boxed pretty much forever, I'm afraid. Now it's time for Giacomo. I don't know if I said that right. It's not really a good time as it's raining, meaning fire type moves won't do as much damage. A Terra boosted Flamethrower still destroys Pawniard, however, as it's just super frail. But then it is Revavroom, and it's a faster Pokemon. A Wicked Taunt does good damage, and we go to sleep sleep, fantastic. But Houndoom's ability, Early Bird, means we wake up instantly and hit a boosted flamethrower onto the Starmobile. But honestly, it's not what I was hoping for. We then dodge a metal sound, and it's looking like flamethrower's a 4-hit knockout, or close. We take another Wicked Talk and flamethrower again, but it's just over. We're just too weak to survive another attack, and we die, losing. I think if I had an extra level or a berry, we can do this. So the next time, I just give myself an Oran berry. Rev Room hits a metal sound, but I'm not bothered, and Wicked Talk is a physical move. For some reason, our flamethrower this fight does over half to the Starmobile. I'm not quite sure why, but our damage is just a lot higher. Maybe it's rolling better. Rev Room then hits a Wicked Talk for a decent amount of damage as we put him on a sliver of HP with a flamethrower. Another Wicked Talk, which we survive and eat our own Oran berry to restore our HP. And a final fiery flamethrower, and Houndoom takes down his first Team Star member, and that's our first Team Star badge down. Straight to our next gym now, which is just around the corner. It's the electric gym leader Iono, with 4 Pokemon to take down. This early game is just going to be Houndoom having to brute force its way through. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's how we're going to get through the whole game, as it's got a great special attack, but it's so frail, we can't take any hits. So first attempt goes great, then awful. We get paralyzed from Bellibolt Spark, and although we can make it to her ace Miss Magius, she just outspeeds us and hexes us. Let's try it again and we hope for no paralysis. Wattrel is her lead, and it's her first form bird Pokemon, so it's pretty weak and dies to a Terra boosted flamethrower from Houndoom. Second, she sends out Bellibolt, the problem from our last attempt. Our flamethrower doesn't take it out, and then he hits an Electromorphosis boosted Spark to put us really low, but we have a Citrus Berry now, so we heal 25% of our HP back. Thankfully, no paralysis too. This means we take down Bellibolt quite easily. Luxio, although it has Intimidate, we're more special orientated now, and a flamethrower burns him to a crisp too. So now we're pretty healthy for Miss Magius, but she can be a pain. She has access to Confuse Ray and Hex. One move and we could be done for. She lives the flamethrower quite nicely and does go for a Confuse Ray. This is bad. We really can't afford to hit ourselves. Luckily, Houndoom does break through confusion and delivers a critical hit, not that it mattered, flamethrower to take down the ghost and defeat our third gym leader in a pretty easy battle. I expect the next few battles are going to be tough though. There's really little downtime after facing Iono in these games. It's just up the road we can do another Team Star base. This time it's a fire type Mela, and this also could be a problem for Houndoom. Flamethrower just isn't going to be strong enough to overpower, and Dark Pulse, while powerful, I don't think it'll do enough. Let's give her a shot though. So I try this fight at level 28 first, and her first Pokemon is a Torkoal. It's a pretty bulky Pokemon and it's got the ability Drought. This means fire type moves are boosted even more, which is a good but bad thing. The reason it's bad is because Houndoom is fragile. While we start this battle off well with Flamethrower doing massive damage and Torkoal opting to go for a Clear Smog, which means we take like 11 damage in total, before we get to take Torkoal down with a Dark Pulse. This is where our issue lies, Rev Room. A sun boosted Flame Talk is doing big damage, and our Dark Pulse is doing around 20%. Rev Room also knows Screech, destroying our already low defense. And while our first attempt we can bring him to half, a Blazing Talk after one Screech and we stand absolutely no chance, we lose. The only thing I can do right now is level up just a bit and try again. So I try again at level 29. While Torkoal dies in the same way, I opt to now go for a Terra Fire to put in big damage, especially with Drought up. Turn 1 we dodge a Screech, which is best case scenario, and our boosted Flamethrower is now doing close to half to Rev Room. He then Screeches us, lowering our defense as our next Flamethrower brings him really low. Rev Room then hits a Blazing Talk that we hang on with a Sliver, and we eat our berry, restoring 20 HP before our next Flamethrower just misses out on the knockout. Damn, we're so close too, and we dodged a Screech. This is rough. I try again at a higher level, and we still just can't take it out. It lives on 1 HP practically every time and faints Houndoom with Blazing Talks. I've still got to grind. Now we're level 32, 5 levels later than what we started this Team Star base at, and I'm just hoping we have enough force now to finally tip it over the edge. So the battle starts off by me terastallizing Houndoom as usual, but this time I go for a Dark Pulse. It doesn't really matter what move I choose as we can't take it out in one hit. I was hoping for a flinch, but we don't get it, and we take a pretty decent Flame Wheel in return. Not the best start. The following turn we can take down Torkoal with another attack. This puts us at 80 HP versus her Rev Room. Then Rev Room hits his Screech, and this is already looking dire as our Flamethrower is still not doing half. Rev Room Blazing Talks nearly taking us out as we eat our Citrus Berry, putting us at over half, and we hit a Flamethrower to bring the Starmobile low. Once again, this is going to be super close. Rev Room then decides to completely throw the fight and go for an Overheat, which is a special move, and we tank it like a champ. And finally, we can take down the Starmobile and we defeat Mela. With her demise, we get ourselves another Team Star badge and we can continue on our solo journey across Paldea. Now, before we probably get brick-walled yet again by Kofu, we've got a Titan to take on. Now, this is probably going to be a very, very easy one to claim as it's a Steel-type Orthworm. We've also got a few levels on him too, and with Terastallization, Phase 1 was a complete joke and we just one-shot it with a Flamethrower. I'll take that. By chasing him down again and jumping on his head, we can begin Phase 2, where he has supercharged himself from eating Herba Mystica. This could have been an issue, but we just one-shot him again with a Terastallized boosted Flamethrower for a very easy Titan badge, and I won't complain after Mela. Also, I am 99.99999% sure that up there is a shiny Q font. It's lighter than the others, but I can't get to it. I can't jump high enough yet, and if I run around, it's going to despawn. I am pretty sure I'm failing a shiny Pokemon right here, but we can't do anything about it. After beating Orthworm, we get ourselves another Titan badge, and now we've got to prepare. By preparation, the only thing we can do is grab 2 more TMs. One of them being Sunny Day, which will boost our fire type moves, making us stronger, and then the second TM we're going to grab is Solar Beam. This will allow us to hopefully set up a Sunny Day, live an attack, and blast the pesky water types with Solar Beams. And the plus side is we take reduced damage from water attacks too. This all comes in handy as our next challenge is the water type gym leader Kofu. I'm already worried. In the battle to hand him back his wallet, we nearly lose to a Floatzel, whose one Aqua Jet takes off half my HP. We do win this fight one-shotting with Solar Beam, but I'm still worried. Let's take him on. Kofu is a water type gym leader, and he also has a Crabominable that he can Terastallize into an extremely powerful water type. However, we do have Solar Beam now. But we need to set up a Sunny Day first. His lead is a Veluza, and turn 1 I just Sunny Day immediately as he hits an Aqua Cutter that still does nearly half in the sun. We then fire off a charged Solar Beam, and Veluza just instantly dies to it, so not a bad start. Second out is a Paldean Dugtrio. Well, it's not, but you cannot convince me otherwise. We Solar Beam once more, and Wugtrio just falls too. I guess having trained my special attack has really paid off. His last Pokemon is Crabominable. We need to take this out in one hit, or we just probably lose. Kofu Terastallizes him into the pure water type. As we charge a Solar Beam, it connects, and Crabominable just gets deleted, giving us a very easy win over the water gym leader. And all that panic and worry was for nothing. Defeating Kofu means we're halfway through our gym badges, and we're making a great dent into our adventure in Paldea. The battles just keep coming, as after our gym, it's time for another Team Star base for Houndoom to deal with. This time it's a poison type leader, Atticus. I don't know if I said that wrong. And our Houndoom is ready for them. However, if we get poisoned, it could be very bad. I Terastallize Houndoom instantly and we set up the sun to boost our fire type moves through the roof, but Skuntank poisons us, and this is bad. We now need to basically one-shot every one of his Pokemon, and while Skuntank does in fact go down to a boosted Flamethrower, I'm pretty worried about the Starmobile. Second, he has a Reveroom. It's part Steel type, so you can already guess it stands no chance to Houndoom either. His third Pokemon is a Muck, and while rain is now downpouring, we're just too powerful and Muck falls too. This leaves us with the last Pokemon Reveroom, but our timer is running out. Reveroom is faster than us, and a single Noxious Talk brings us to the red as we eat up our Citrus Berry. This isn't looking good at all. A Flamethrower then does close to half back to him, so that seals this attempt, and Houndoom falls. I wonder if we can beat him if we're not poisoned. A Pecha Berry might just solve our issues. So the next battle starts off exactly the same. We Terastallize and set up the sun as Skuntank does in fact Toxic us. This time allows us to eat our Pecha Berry and we remove the poisoning effect, so we'll take a lot less damage. Now we fire off a Fiery Flamethrower to one-shot the Skunk. Reveroom is still a one-shot too, and so is Muck. This leaves us at 100% HP for the Starmobile. However, we were slower last time, and we still are as a Noxious Talk puts us at just above half. Our Flamethrower now does just over half to him too. We take a last move putting us on 8 HP, and this Flamethrower thankfully does enough damage to take down the Starmobile in just 2 hits, letting us defeat Atticus, a poison type leader of Team Star, and getting us yet another badge on our journey. On our continuous journey through Paldea, Houndoom has another gym battle to take on, and this is with one of my favourite characters in this game, Larry. He's a normal type gym leader who's just doing his job, paying the bills and living a normal life. Larry's lead is a Kamala, as Houndoom Terastallizes and Sunny Days, our best strategy at this level, and we get yawned. That's not good. The next turn, a Flamethrower decimates Kamala, giving us a knockout, but now we fall straight to sleep. Not good, as the next Pokemon is a Dudunsparce. We stay asleep and Dudunsparce hits a super hard drill run, But thanks to our ability Early Bird, we wake up the next turn to hit another flamethrower and melt the Dunsparce evolution. This leaves him with his last Pokemon and his ace, Staraptor. We're super weak now, and it's a fast Pokemon. It's going to come down to who's faster. Larry terrestrializes Staraptor into the normal type, but Houndoom outspeeds Flamethrower Staraptor and takes it down, giving us a win over good old Larry. You can see how Houndoom has to be able to do big damage or just fall. After fighting Larry and getting our gym badge, Nemona challenges us to a rival battle, as there's no rest for the wicked, I guess. And well, it's not a good time. Her Lycanroc just Accelerocks us twice and we lose. Thankfully this fight isn't mandatory to win, otherwise I could see us being in a world of trouble already. However, we will have to take her on at some point, but we're going to save that for later. We're starting to reach the latter stages of the game now, and it's time to approach the mountain where a lot of gym fights and team star bases await us. For a fire type Pokemon, the harsh cold might not be so nice to Houndoom, but our next gym battle is up his alley. I'm a little bit worried as Ryme is a double battle fight. We can bring in our shiny Rockruff we caught earlier to do the battle, but I'm not going to use it to attack. This means Houndoom is going to have to take hits no matter what, something it's not doing well with, and a Mimikyu with basically sturdy is a problem. Let's try her. Ryme's lead is Mimikyu and Banette, as we lead with our two shiny blue dogs. The fight starts off with Mimikyu instantly shadow sneaking Rockruff and taking him out, so now it's Houndoom versus them all, as Banette also shadow sneaks, but Houndoom has a type matchup here and we take down Banette with a Dark Pulse. This brings out Ryme's Houndstone. However, there is a gimmick to this battle. When we take down a Pokemon, we get a stat raise. This boosts our special attack by 1 stage, so we just Dark Pulse Houndstone, instantly bringing him down 2, as Mimikyu slashes us for good damage. Her final Pokemon is Electric type Toxicity, as the crowd boosts Houndoom's stats even more. Ryme will now terrestrialize Toxicity, and my idea has been to leave Mimikyu to last and just keep taking down her big threats. Houndoom Dark Pulses Toxicity to take him down with all the boosted stats, leaving us with a 1-on-1, as Mimikyu's slash puts us very low, but we eat our berry, putting us back to close to half. We can now break Mimikyu's disguise with a flamethrower, and we need to live this next move, and we do with 29 HP. No Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu means we can burn it with a flamethrower to take it down just barely, and we defeat Ryme first time. I'm rhyming. Getting ourselves yet another gym badge, and so far this run is going okay, but I still expect a rough road ahead soon. First on the roadblock is a massive Titan, whose type can really destroy us. Luckily we have Solar Beam, but I'm not even sure if we can take one hit from the Titan that is Great Tusk. The battle starts off with me choosing to Solar Beam to see what Great Tusk does, but he knocks off, so he completely throws turn 1, and a single Solar Beam takes him straight to stage 2. Well, I wasn't expecting that to be as easy as it was. One single hit surely destroys us, but I'll take it nonetheless. Now we can team up with Arvin again for stage 2, and Great Tusk is eating some supercharged plants to increase his power level. Turn 1 is exactly the same as last phase, as we just charge a Solar Beam, and he knocks off again, as Skullvillain hits a critical hit Razor Leaf for a little bit of chip damage on Great Tusk. We then blast him with a Solar Beam for massive damage, putting him in the red, as a single Stomping Tantrum kills Houndoom. Great. That feels more like it. Skullvillain then scary faces Great Tusk when all he had to do was attack him. Luckily for us, the next turn he does in fact just Razor Leaf him, and Arvin for once carries me to victory, and we defeat Great Tusk. Yay, I take the credit. That was also a one shot. However, we did get lucky he didn't just Stomping Tantrum both of our Pokemon twice. Moving on. Before the next gym, we actually won a battle versus Nemona. It was a clean sweep with Houndoom, just completely tearing through her team thanks to some questionable move choices on her behalf. All she had to do was Accelerate with Lycanroc and she wins, but I guess she felt a bit of pity. We don't need her pity, but we'll take the victory. The last two gym leaders on paper should be a breeze for Houndoom, as the first one we're going to face is a Psychic type leader, Tulip. Now we're in the late game and everyone has strong Pokemon. We really have to try and one hit KO as many as we can, and we're not that over leveled. Luckily a Dark Pulse takes down our first Pokemon. Second is Gardevoir. Our Dark Pulse is neutral and does close to half, as the Dazzling Gleam does a good chunk to us. Our next Flamethrower however blasts Gardevoir, taking her down. This brings out the Psychic Ostrich at Sparfer, who quick attacks us for basically nothing before we take it down with a Dark Pulse, leaving her last Pokemon Floggus. It's a Fairy type, but she's going to terrestrialize into a Psychic type, giving us the advantage. We blast her with a Dark Pulse for massive damage, and we snag a flinch. This certainly seals the deal for us and allows us to get off another hit to take down Floggus and beat our 7th gym leader. Houndoom is really showing her true power right now, and we're decimating people, but this ain't going to be that long lived. Straight to the last gym now atop of the snowy mountain, and it's the last time Houndoom has to be freezing on this mountain too. The last gym to face is Grusha. He's an ice type gym leader, and while Houndoom being a fire type, this should be a very quick and easy battle too. Grusha's lead is a Frostmoth, a bug and ice type. It's time to heat this mountain up by terastallizing, boosting our fire type moves, and I'm super confident. One flamethrower, one dead ice moth. Second out sends Beartic. It's pretty strong, but not strong enough to stand up to Houndoom, and melts also. So far so good. Third is a slightly bulkier Sea Titan, who lives a boosted flamethrower and hits us incredibly hard with a liquidation to put us on 9 HP, activating our berry. Okay, I'm starting to get a bit too confident. Our level advantage is practically non-existent too. We take down his Sea Titan, but he still has an Altaria left. If it didn't terastallize, we'd be in trouble, but thankfully Grusha does, meaning our flamethrower does take down Altaria. And I won't lie, I did get scared for a moment, but in Houndoom we trust, and that is Grusha defeated and all 8 out of 8 gym badges down. I decided to check on moves I can remember, and right at the bottom now is Nasty Plot. It's a move that raises your special attack by 2 stages, so it is incredibly powerful if we can manage to even get it off though, and I'm sure we're going to have to use it a lot in these stages of the game. And well, it's time for a fairy type team star base. That's Ortega. Now usually this might not be an issue, but his lead is an Azumarill. Yep, an Azumarill. I tried to Nasty Plot, but a single Aqua Tail takes us out in one hit instantly. That's not good. I know we're not super over leveled, but I'm not sure how we can win. Solar Beam is a 2-turn charge, and Dark Pulse Flamethrower can't take it down. I try them again, and this time we do make it past Azumarill thanks to him missing an Aqua Tail. We then set up a Nasty Plot as a play rough still brings us low, but thanks to our berry we heal a little bit. Now there really shouldn't be that much that stops us. A single Solar Beam takes down Azumarill, then his second Pokemon is a Wigglytuff. A +2 sun boosted Terastallized Flamethrower makes super short work of Wigglytuff. Then is his first Pokemon Douchebun, who I forgot has the ability Baked Body, absorbing fire type hits. Then takes us extremely low with a crunch in return, and then the sunlight fades, which I then missed and went for a solar beam, so we died to a crunch. I completely threw that fight, but I'm sure we can win with better RNG and better skill. Attempt 3, we immediately Sunny Day as Azumarill Aqua Tails does land, doing a huge amount of damage, activating our berry already. Not the best start. I now don't boost our special attack stat, but I nuke it with a solar beam instead. It's just too much of a threat. Out comes Wigglytuff. Here is where I use Terastallization and I go for a Nasty Plot as we live a resisted play rough. Now we can fire off a flamethrower to take down Wigglytuff. This brings out Douchebun again, and this time I solar beam, not flamethrower, and we take him down too, leaving the last Pokemon the Starmobile Reverie. With sun still in the sky and our special attack through the roof, we hit a Terra boosted Sunny Day Nasty Plotted flamethrower and we destroy Ortega's ace in one fiery move. We get our 7th Team Star badge and only 1 Titan and 1 Team Star boss remain, but they are going to be incredibly hard I feel. First on the list over at the beautiful lake is a Titan I'm scared of. It's actually 2 Titans, a water and a dragon type, Dondozo and Tatsugiri. We encounter the huge catfish and we set up the sun to reduce water type attacks as he body slams us for huge damage and paralyzes us. Great. The next turn we solar beam to bring him to the red, which is a great sign, but we just die to an Aqua Tail. Not a great sign. We try the fight once more, but Dondozo is just way too powerful and we just can't even get off the last hit to even beat stage 1. So I just keep trying. I really don't want to brute force this fight with levels, but that might be an option. However, on our 3rd attempt, we set up the sun like usual to reduce the incoming damage, as an Aqua Tail still does a tremendous amount to us. We eat our berry, and this time our solar beam doesn't bring him to the red, but he opts to go for a water pulse, which doesn't do nowhere near enough, even with a critical hit. This allows us to finally at least beat stage 1. I wonder how stage 2 will go. We chase Dondozo through the water, and I get a mild case of Phasmophobia here, as we're literally on top of it. We activate stage 2 now, and this could be rough. We've got to take down a powered up Dondozo. First we set up the sun, as it's pretty mandatory in this battle, as he body slams Greedent for a small amount of damage, and Greedent's takedown does very little in return too. The following turn we hit a solar beam that decimates Dondozo's HP, and after Greedent doing as what he can, we bring him to the red with a takedown. A final solar beam, and we bring down Dondozo, untouched in this phase, but now we're straight into the last phase, which is Tatsugiri. We set up the sun as Tatsugiri's Dragon Pulse brings Greedent low, and a takedown does a chip amount of damage to him. We can't even Nasty Plot as Tatsugiri taunts us and all our moves are resisted against him. Eventually, Tatsugiri brings us both super low as we take him to the red too, thanks to Greedent's tail whips lowering his defense and our flamethrowers. So a takedown from Greedent just does massive damage, but he lives on 1 HP from our Houndoom and then takes us down. This feels like more of a stamina fight. Let's try it again. We get past Dondozo really easy again, so we're back on Tatsugiri. Straight away I just set up the the sun as he taunts us again. Maybe I should have nasty plotted first, but Greedent starts tail whipping, so that's really good for us. We then get hit hard by a Dragon Pulse. We can only really solar beam him, as he's taunting us both, and Greedent's takedown is doing great damage now. I just keep on attacking as we critical hit a solar beam, and then we take a Muddy Water to very low HP before we heal with our berry. But Greedent, being the MVP, is doing huge damage with takedown, so it's only a matter of time before he puts him on a sliver. That allows Houndoom to pick up the finishing blow. And dealing with all the Titans in Paldea, we get our last Titan badge too, and now only one thing stands in our way. The last thing is a Team Star base, and what type you may ask? Fighting, with rock moves too, because why not? This has the potential to be insanely hard, or very easy, can go either way. Once again, our level advantage versus Eri is not high at all. I've tried my best to keep it as low as I can throughout the whole video. Okay, attempt 1, we just instantly died to a Brick Break from Toxicroak. That's bad. Second attempt I terrestrialize to remove our dark typing, and we do take attacks a lot better. By that I mean we can survive only 2 hits instead of 1. We make it all the way to the Starmobile and we nearly take it down in one move, but it goes for its shift gear, a move that raises its speed, and then with a single high horsepower, Houndoom definitely falls. We just need a little bit more damage and we can win this. So once again we terrestrialize Houndoom into a fire type, removing our dark type weakness, and we set up a nasty plot on Toxicroak as a Brick Break does over half to us still, and we heal a little bit with our berry. Then I make a risky play to go for another nasty plot, as a poison jab brings us extremely low but doesn't poison us, so now we're in for a treat. First we shoot off a fiery flamethrower to take down Eri's first Pokemon. Second out is a Passiman with Rock Tomb. Luckily it doesn't get to use it as Houndoom sends a monkey packing. Third is Annihilate, such a cool Pokemon, and an evolution of Primate, but it can't stand to Houndoom's boosted power and falls too. Fourth is Lucario, being part Steel type. Who am I kidding? It doesn't matter what type you are right now. Houndoom is flying through this battle. This puts us back on Reverie, and we just hit a flamethrower that's Terrafire and 4 times Nasty Plot boosted to evaporate her Starmobile. And with that defeat, we take down all 8 members of Team Star finally. We've got 8 badges and we've cleansed Paldea of all the Titans. Now we move on to the endgame. The endgame consists of the Elite Four and Champion. After answering some questions like a job interview, me and Houndoom are ready to rock, and I'm actually in big trouble. Our first Elite Four member is a ground type Rika. She's going to be a brick wall, I can feel it. And yep, I'm right. While her first Pokemon, Whiscash, does damage to us, we can just take it down with Solar Beam. That's not the issue. The issue is her second Pokemon, Donphan. It has Sturdy, meaning it survives any attack from us and just kills us with whichever move it decides. I tried this fight over and over and over, but we cannot make it past Donphan, even with a level increase. We started off at 60 and I didn't want to increase it too much. Even at level 62, we're no match for Donphan. This is impossible. I even tried fishing for a Dark Pulse flinch over and over, but we never got it. We've got to do something. That's something I figured out after a while. So we head back to Larry's gym, and this is our saving grace. We can change our Terra type once for free into the normal type, and this might just be what we need to take on the Elite Four. This will give us probably one of the fairest Terras to take on all the Elite Four members, as we don't really get any bonuses on our attacks. So we go back and we take on Rika again with the same strategy, but this time terrestrializing into the normal type, while she sends out a camera up second, and we one-shot it. Out comes Donphan, the bane of my existence, and even with us being Terra normal, it still one-shots us with Earthquake. I don't know how we're gonna win. I tried a few more times until eventually we get this battle at level 65. We terrestrialize into the normal type and we nasty plot as Whiscash goes for a Muddy Water that we dodge. Perfect. I then opt to nasty plot once more, increasing our special attack to scary numbers, as a Muddy Water now doesn't bring us to half. We then Dark Pulse for an easy knockout onto Whiscash. Out comes Camera up second. We Dark Pulse, and well, that's a dead camel. However, now is Donphan, the huge threat. We bring him to his Sturdy as he Earthquakes us, putting us on 14 HP. Activating our berry, healing us. Is this finally the run we can win? A final Dark Pulse finally brings him down, and that's a lot of finals. Dugtrio is out, we outspeed, and we take care of it too. This brings out Clodsire, her final Pokemon. The reason we went for +4 in special attack, as a +2 just isn't strong enough to bring it down. Rika terrestrializes Clodsire, but at +4 it stands no chance to live, and Houndoom brings it down, defeating our first Elite Four member. This is tough, but there's no time to rest. We move on to the second. Poppy, the Steel type expert, and I'm expecting a really easy battle after Rika. and I'm wrong. We can make it to Tinkerton, her last Pokemon, but with only a +2 to special attack, we can't bring it down, just like Clodsire. And Gigaton Hammer is far too powerful and nukes us. We also have a Magneton with Sturdy to deal with. This fight took many tries just like Rika, but every time we would fall to Tinkerton, so I have to come up with a new strategy. On our 6th attempt we get this battle. We have to Terastallize immediately to Copperaja, although he can still kill us with attacks. So we Flamethrower to bring down the elephant first. Then it's Corviknight. We just Flamethrower again and that deals with a second Pokemon. Third is Bronzong, and while I did contemplate setting up here, I bring it down with a Flamethrower. Now is Magnezone, and it's time to Nasty Plot. We boost once, and he goes for a Light Screen boosting the team's special defense. The next turn we Nasty Plot again to raise our special attack through the roof as he just hits a weak Flash Cannon. Then we can bring Magnezone down to the Sturdy with a Flamethrower, as a Flash Cannon critical hits putting us really low. This means we eat up our berry again, putting us back at a good amount of HP. We then finally bring Magnezone down with a Flamethrower, putting us at a +4 for Tinkerton and over half HP. Poppy Terastallize Tinkerton into the pure steel type, and with a +4 boost, it can't live to Houndoom and falls shortly after, giving us our second Elite Four victory. Third is our good old friend Larry, who this time specialises in flying types. We go straight into the battle and we Nasty Plot on Tropius, who sets up the sun for us with Sunny Day. How kind. We're now at +2 and sun boosted, and Tropius stands no chance and falls. Larry's probably just swept himself. Out comes Staraptor next, and at this point our level increase is a little bit noticeable, and we take down Staraptor too. Third is Altaria, a bulkier dragon type, but it still can't stand to Houndoom's heat. Fourth is Oricorio, the electric version, and we critical hit it for an overkill. The sun fades as Larry sends out his last Pokemon and ace, Flamigo. Houndoom is way too powerful still for Larry, and we take down his Terastallized bird, giving us an easy Elite Four battle for once. On to the last. Hassel, the dragon type expert, where our fire moves won't do much. You've probably figured out my strategy by now. It's practically the only one we can use to success in this part of the game. Nasty Plot and Sweep. Hassel's lead is Noivern and we lead off with Houndoom. Batxcalibur is a pretty tanky Pokemon, so we need a +4 to bring it down, I believe. On Noivern we Nasty Plot once as he opts a Super Fang to bring us to half. This activates our berry. We can definitely live any other hit it throws at us, so I go for another Nasty Plot setting up as he does Super Fang again, not doing much now. Now we start to Dark Pulse. A 1 for Noivern brings him down. Second is Dragology, and he's a one shot with Dark Pulse too. Third is Haxorus. Same thing, so far so good. No Pokemon can survive a +4 Houndoom. Fourth is Flapple, who instantly dies as well to us, bringing us to his last Pokemon and ace, Batxcalibur. He Terastallizes into a Dragon type, but Dark Pulse from Houndoom is way too strong, and we sweep Hansel as well. The first two Elite Four members was insanely hard, the last two was easy, so I'll take that trade-off. Time for the champion of Paldea. Geeta, the champion of Paldea. Can we bring it down and become a champion ourselves with just a Houndoom? Let's find out. Her lead is a Sparfra, and in fact, Geeta's whole team is weak to Houndoom, except her ace. We Nasty Plot, raising our stats as the Sparfra gets a stat raise too, and the Dazzling Gleam brings us close to half. We Dark Pulse to bring down her Psychic Ostrich the next turn. Second out is Avalugg, and while bulky defensively, its special side is poor, and a Flamethrower toasts the Ice Slab. Third is King Gambit, a Bisharp evolution. It being part Steel type means the Flamethrower brings down the Samurai too. Veluza the Psychic Fish is fourth, but being Psychic means Houndoom's Dark Pulse is super effective and down she goes. This brings out Go-Go, a Grass type. Flamethrower melts him and Houndoom is put in solid work as always. This leaves her last Pokemon and a race Glamora, a Rock type however, and when she Terastallize, one move could end us. We have to hope we can bring it down with a Dark Pulse. We both Terastallize to try and increase our power and for me to survive a hit if we need to, but a Dark Pulse is too much for Geeta's ace and we bring her down, beating Geeta and becoming champion of Paldea with just a Houndoom. Although we are now classed as a top champion, and we did that with just a Houndoom, there's 3 mini bosses we need to face before we can class this run as finished, those being Clavel, Penny and Nemona, according to a Nuzlocke tracker I use. The first one we have to take on is Clavel. At this point of our story, Houndoom is just incredibly powerful. All it really takes is one Nasty Plot, and I don't think we're going to have much of an issue with any trainer. Clavel's lead is an Oranguru, so it's perfect setup fodder. All he does is reflect, basically allowing us to win the battle there and then. We take down Oranguru, and out comes a Houndoom. I must say I have missed the normal colouring, but I do like the shiny. It lives a Dark Pulse like the champ Houndoom is, but he gets flinched. Sorry buddy, and down he goes. Third is the Ice and Grass type of Abomasnow, who melts to a Flamethrower. Fourth is Poltergeist, a Ghost type. Houndoom's typing are really helping us here. Fifth is an Amoonguss, and that's an easy knockout of a Flamethrower, giving us his last Pokemon, Quaquaval. It's a Water and Fighting type, so potentially an issue, but because Clavel terrestrializes it into a pure Water type, this removes its Dark type resistance, allowing us to beat him with a Dark Pulse. Our second boss is Penny from Team Star, and in all honesty, I don't think Evolutions stand a chance versus us. Maybe a Vaporeon could be a problem, but this theme is a banger. Umbreon is set up fodder. All it does is quick attack us and baby doll eyes as we just boost and boost and boost. Even at a +2, we don't take it out, so not wanting to take any chances, I have to go to a +4, and you can guess what's coming next. So I'm just going to let the battle play out, and you can enjoy Penny's theme tune for the remainder of it. With Penny swept and Clavel taken care of, it's time for the last battle of the challenge, and with our rival Nemona. So far she's beat us and we've beat her. This is to decide Paldea's top champion and see if we can beat the game with just a Houndoom. Who will come out on top? Actually, Nemona does. I forget that Pokémon is a fighting type and we don't take it down for Dark Pulse, so one close combat instantly defeats us and we lose our first attempt. Attempt 2. We make it to Gudra, battered and bruised, and with the level gap not much between our Pokemon now, and it shows. Even at a +2 we can't do much damage to the bulky Dragon type. It shrugs off a Dark Pulse and finishes us with a Dragon Pulse. Time to rethink my strategy. With my new tactic in set, the crowd gathers around us to watch the final showdown between us and Nemona. We've come a long way from being a shiny Houndour in a cave to single-handedly taking down Paldea. Let's do this. Nemona leads with Lycanroc and we lead off with, well, Houndoom of course. Lycanroc is an issue and causes us to have to terrestrialize into a normal type immediately, or we lose to Accelerock. So we do what we always do, nasty plot, and then we take a Stone Edge for massive damage, eating our berry and healing us in the process. We cannot go any higher in stats right now. Lycanroc has to fall, and so he does to a Dark Pulse. Second out is Pormot, the fighting and electric type. He quick attacks us, getting a little slower for Gudra, I presume, as we go under half, and then we toast Pormot with a fiery flamethrower. Third is Orthworm, the steel type Pokemon. So a flamethrower makes short work of the worm and sends it back to the mud. Fourth is the Dunsparce. We flamethrower once more and that's another one-hit KO. But now is the bulky dragon type Gudra. If we can just make it past her, we surely win. We Dark Pulse, we don't KO, and Gudra Dragon Pulses us, but we survive this time on 8 HP. Whoa, that was close. We take down Gudra with a Dark Pulse, and now it's her ace and last Pokemon, Meowscarada. But here we have the type advantage. Our whole journey comes to this one moment, Houndoom versus Nemona's ace. And of course, we melt the cat Pokemon with a flamethrower, defeating Nemona and ending this challenge. We did it. Houndoom is a great Pokemon, although very, very one-dimensional. But even with some challenging opponents, we've came out on top. And with not that much of a level gap either. I thought we'd have to be a lot higher. I didn't include the Professor this time, as I felt Nemona is a really good place to end this sort of challenge. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. You got any suggestions? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.